3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. I've taught EIP, ESOL, SPED for 5 years. I've been in the rotation. I did 3rd, 4th, and 5th, went back to 3rd, now I'm back up to 4th. So hopefully, in the next couple of years, I'll graduate to 5th grade again. Jan has come into my classroom a couple of times in the morning, and she has seen the way that I do morning work in my room, and I have like a hands-off policy with morning work in my room. Once I teach it to my children, they are completely and totally in charge of morning work, which allows me to work with some of my high-achieving children that struggle in different areas. For instance, Pearl Stephen is a focus school, and one of our focuses is math. Those math scores were not so terrific. So in the mornings, my children can do the morning work, and I can work with those students that I need to work with. These can be done through technology. You can take them and make them stations. That's why she wanted me to talk about it, and the fact that I don't control it at all. The children do. So my day starts 8 o'clock when the children are allowed to come in. They do all of their morning work and stuff, and then after announcements at 8:30, about 8:40, the children are in charge of doing this themselves. They work with each other. So what it looks like, where am I at? What I did first was I wanted to give every day a cute name, because that's just, it gets the kids involved. So right now we have like Mind-Boggling Monday, we have Totally Awesome Tuesday, we have Wondering Wednesday, we have Think It Through Thursday, and we have Fun Friday. And every day the kids come in and they'll start with something that I need them to work on. Right now we're working on place value, so they have a little sheet and they come in and they do place value. There'll be a number up on the board, and they'll take it and they'll do word form, standard word, expanded. They'll round it to the nearest 100 or 1,000, depending on what day it is. They'll tell you this is 1,593 minutes. That's 23 hours and 38 minutes. They'll do elapsed time with it. They'll do money with it, $15.93. They'll tell you how many groups of 1,000, 100, they do 10 more, 10 less, 100 more, 100 less, 1,000 more, 1,000 less, greater than, less than, first number less than, first number greater than. They do all of that really quickly. It's a skill that we've been working on, so they're getting really good at it, so I'm going to have to change it up here soon. So they do that first. They always do whatever the remediation skill is that we're working on. Next, they usually do set online. Everybody knows what set online is, right? You've seen set online? Okay. Sometimes I need my board for something, so I'll take my set cards and I'll put them in the pockets. These are just name badges that I bought at Staples, and these are the business magnets, the back to business cards, and I put them on the back of those so that I could use them anywhere on my board I needed to, so I could have my smartboard for something else. So the set will normally be on the smartboard. And then third, they will do one of those activities that we have for the day. Right now, I think this is my daily grid. And this is my daily grid. These are the places where I get all of these things from. So if it's Boggle, I'll just go to the Boggle site and I'll look at the letters. And I have a set of letters, and I'll take them and I'll stick them on my board. So the Boggle's already there for them. On Tuesday, it depends on what we're doing. We were doing tangrams, and the students each had a little bag of tangrams, and whatever the picture for the tangram was would be on the board. I try to save paper, so my Boggle sheets, my set sheets, my daily number sheets, all of these sheets I have printed, I have laminated, I have hole punched, and they are in a folder so that we're not using like copy, 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 copy. I did that. We're using grease pencils or China markers to write on them, wipe off so that they are reusable the next time we do it. On Wednesday, we're currently doing Wondering Wednesday. I'll take whatever the question is for Wonderopolis. We'll stick it up there. They'll write about it. See, Kathy, I'm putting writing in there. We'll write about it, and then we'll actually look it up, and then the students will discuss if what they thought was correct or what they learned, and then they'll write a little something at the bottom saying, this is what they're thinking now. See, I'm trying to get all of those skills in, but I don't have to do it, which is the coolest thing. On Thursday, I use a lot of logic puzzles, logic links, and again, here are some places that you can get all of those things very easily. And then on Friday, I try to change it every Friday. Every Friday, I try to do something new, something different for the kids. Sometimes it's the math puzzles. This is the matching color puzzle game. And they just drew this on their dry erase board, and they just put the X's in it, and you have to figure out all of these in this grid so that they fit with the matching colors, touching the matching colors. So it's just something different. They're still doing some problem solving. They're still doing some thinking. Usually on Fridays is the day that I have to lend the most support because I try to introduce something new every Friday, keeps it fresh, gives them something new. And then once I do this, as soon as we do BYOD, these are the things they want to do because we've done it on Friday. I'll go back to my notebook. On the back, you'll notice that there are a whole bunch of resources. They love the set game, absolutely love it. So I have found a whole bunch of different sites that offer that same game in a different format, and they'll do that. Sometimes we'll switch it up because they get too good at the shape, color, number, attributes of the set cards, but when you change it just a little, it makes them think again all over. I'll go back to that one. This is another one that I do on Fridays. This is nonograms. These are also logic puzzles. This row has to have 3 filled in squares, but this column has to have 1, a space, 1, a space, 1. So they have to figure it out, which squares should be shaded in and which should not. And you can do it in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and it gets absolutely huge. But they love to do these. They're actually faster than I am at them. Once they get going, they see the patterns much easier than I do. And you'll look at the rest of the resources at the bottom. These are interesting sites that kids absolutely love that you can pull from for any of the Friday activities. They love National Geographic's. Discovery Kids has a really cool game site, and they have this crazy eyeball. And sometimes we'll do this Fun Friday thing where I'll say, okay, you have a question, you have a really important question. I know that you're wondering about something, or you're thinking about something, or if you want to know something's going to happen. It's like the magic 8-ball. They write down their question, and they write a little bit about why they're wondering, or sometimes they're worried about different things that you don't realize they're worried about. But it's really kind of fun, because then you just ask it. Come on over. And it'll roll. And it'll give them an answer that's just kind of crazy, like the magic 8-ball. And then we talk about, was that a good enough answer, was that not good? It just allows them to develop some social skills and talk about things that might be bothering them or things they want to know. It's a really cool thing the kids love. They love that crazy eye. But Discovery has lots of really cool places. The Mensa site, if you've never been on the Mensa site, has a lot of really neat games for kids. Multiplication, division, words, vowels, all kinds of stuff. But when you go down here to the American Mensa Game Room, it also goes back to Wonder Words and Word Sense and Sudoku and Lucky Letters, which is like Hangman, jigsaw puzzles. So sometimes we'll look at some of those and do some of those. And Mind-Boggling Monday got old at one point, so we were doing some masterpieces on Monday. We were working on those Torrance creativity activities where they would have just the squiggles and they would turn it into a masterpiece. And then I would come to the art gallery and we would just choose a random artist and we would learn a little bit about their art. So it's just a way to put some art into the morning. One of the coolest things they do like is this Whistle Pro, which I had put this in the closet and hadn't pulled it out in a while, but I pulled it out with this group, and they have to figure, I have a sheet in their folder that's numbered 1 to, I think it's 25. And they have to use the 3 numbers in a column, in a row, or diagonally to add, subtract, multiply, or divide to find the number 1, to find the number 2, to find the number 3. And they have the best time with these. And they love to find the one that nobody else finds, because sometimes there's multiple answers. They'll spend, if I let them, they'll spend hours on this. So, time management is something that we do work on. We can do our set in less than 5 minutes, and we've gotten to the point to where Boggle can run anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. It just depends. Like I said, I don't do any of this. The children come in, do 1, they come in, do 2, they come in and do 3, and then I have a rotation schedule so that everybody gets a chance to lead the group, and they completely participate. This is my friend, Chikanye, who's very busy. Very, very busy. He's the one that you always have to redirect in the morning. He's super smart, but he always needs your attention. But on Boggle days, he goes straight to his desk and he sits down and he gets busy because he wants to be the one who leads Boggle. And this is him leading Boggle. And they start with 3-letter words, 4-letter words, and longer words. And I always have a word in there that I've picked that's like the bonus word. And if they get it, they get a special treat because they're usually 6- and 7-letter words. And so he's leading Boggle. And he just, see, he's calling on someone and he asks them, they'll say the word, they'll spell the word, he writes it on the board, he'll look back and he'll say, those 2 letters don't touch, I'm sorry, I'll come back to you in a minute. I mean, they act like me when they're up there, and so I get to see me and them some mornings. By the time we finished this, there were 53 words on the board. They had done an awesome job this week. This is Nathan, he's leading our set. They can use their devices to check their sets, but we have a strict honor policy that if you're going to do it, you have to have your set on your paper before you can check it on your device, because there's only 6 and the puzzle stays the same all day long. It doesn't change. So they have to be on the honor system, and he just simply leads the class. He'll say, he's in charge, he'll say, okay, let's look at all the reds first. Did anybody find just a red set? Anybody find just a green set? Did anybody find an outline set? And he'll lead the whole entire thing, and we can do it in just under 5 minutes right now. And that's pretty good for the 3rd week of school. And then this was the Witzel Pro that I introduced to them, and as they wrote it, it was a Friday activity, so as they wrote it, I wrote it down, and we looked at what it looks like mathematically and what that means. And as you can see, we were going through. And I stopped at 5, and then they found 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I let somebody come up and lead it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that we could do Witzel Pro. And then, oops, sorry, I hate when it does that, moves all the way around. But usually all of the hands in my room are absolutely raised because they're completely in charge of it. I have nothing to do with it. Occasionally they'll look at me and go, like, is that right? To see if I'm paying attention. But many times I'm working with somebody and one of the kids will go, yeah, that's right, keep going. So it works really well for me because I can spend all of that time in the morning working with the students I need to work with. The students take complete and total ownership of their learning and they share it with each other. Any questions?
When you say morning work, like what time are you looking at? Like what's your time frame?
We start at 8 o'clock, so they'll come in and do the place value, they'll do the set, and then they'll do whatever the add-on activity is. Our announcements are about 8:30, usually 8:25, 8:30, and then right after the announcements, as soon as we send the lunch count and that person comes back, they'll get up and they'll take this completely and totally over, and we are always done before 9 o'clock. They can do all 3 pieces.
Is that your enrichment time?
That is, well, that's my enrichment time. We do have like it's called the warrior air time. Right. But because most of mine don't usually end up in my room anyway, she allows me to do a lot of the E3 things during that time frame. Because I'm also pulling those students that I need to work with.
Now, so you don't send any of yours out or get any in?
No, I do not send any out or get any in. I do not at all. One last thing I'll share with you is if you do not know who Ian Bird is and his puzzlements, you might want to go to his site and send for his email. He sends an email once a week. It's called Puzzlements. This one's from May, but I saved them so I can use them again and again, but he always finds the coolest things. And he sends them to you in your email. And so we were looking at seaweed farms in South Korea on satellite pictures. And they look like these little tiny squares, but the coolest thing about them is they're completely in the ocean. So how do you keep the seaweed there completely in the ocean without it drifting away? And they have this system that allows the seaweed to float during high tide and allows it to drop down during low tide and keep it there. And the kids had the coolest time looking at the pictures, reading about it, learning about it. Of course, he sends really cool things, pygmy seahorses. There were orange pygmy seahorses who had babies, and they took the babies and put them on purple coral, and the pygmy seahorse babies turned purple. I mean, it was the coolest thing. So he finds the neatest things. Their favorite one right now is the optical illusions. So occasionally I'll have to take some artwork away during class because they're trying to figure out how to do this. When they installed it, it really looked like that. So we'll look at the pictures. It looks like this when you're standing far away, but this is what it really looked like when they installed it. So they're still trying to puzzle this one out. This is their favorite one. And they're like, that is totally crazy. So they're trying to figure out if Dr. Brantley will allow us to install one of these somewhere in the building because they really want to try this out and see how it works. And this was just one of our extra added on things that I did one Friday with the puzzlements. So he really does send the coolest things. We've watched the largest Lego car that can actually be driven. So we do have a huge thing of Legos. And that is one thing they like to do too, is sometimes they like to come in and instead of do one of these, they can buy a ticket for Lego time. Right. Right. And I just purchased an Osmo, which does the tangrams. It works with your iPad, and the little mirror thing sits on top, and they can do the tangram at the bottom, and it registers the pieces that they put them in the correct order, and it takes them from the simplest level by matching color, and then it matches shading, and then it's completely black for challenging. And I have 2 of them because when I bought one, well, my mother bought it, because when she bought it, she got to give one to a school free, so she gave it to me. So I got 2 of them for $80. And my children will do that sometimes as an add-on. They can buy extra tickets in my room for good behavior for additional things to do during morning work instead of having to do these things. So I try to mix it up all the time. But Friday, we always mix it up. I always find something crazy. One of our favorites is the roadblock one, where the little red car, you have to get the little red car out. So I've made the grids, and I've made all the little cars in construction paper, and they'll just go grab a baggie, and they'll try to work whatever the puzzle is that's on the board on Friday. So I try to make it where it's review, problem solving, and something really cool. And they take complete ownership of it. That's it.
Thank you.
And if you want me to send you this in my notebook so that you don't have to type in all those links, send me an email and I'll share my notebook with you. Do what? Ian Bird, IANBYRD. Type in puzzlements. Type in the word puzzlements in Google, and I think it takes you to his site or his sign-up page. It says Curiosities and Puzzlements, and you just put in your email address, and he sends them to you in your email every week.
How do you spell that Osmo thing?
OSMO. So I do have other things they can do, but those are really cool things. So they have to have good behavior to purchase tickets to get to do those cool things. So it's also a classroom management tool because they love these things. They're curious about everything, and we try to do as much as we can. But I tried to give you a whole bunch of resources that you can start looking at and seeing what you might want to add. And you don't have to do them all in the morning. Like if you're doing like, we did it one day when we did component time because it was word study. We did Boggle during word study. You know, we did our Witzel Pro and our place value at the beginning of our math block. It just depends on how my day goes, where it fits in. Because I'm still doing what the county wants me to do, but I'm also hitting those gifted standards. Sorry, I'll shut up.
Good, very good. Good job.
Oh, if you think of something you want to see, or you have something absolutely awesome, that's good, that's what I have, that you want to share with us, sign up, because we're going to have 3 more of these. 3 more of these. And like I said, they're really informal. We'd love for you to come and share. I'd love to be over there. I'd be less red.
You did a great job.
Yeah, you did great. You did a great job. Yes, you did great.
I thought they were gonna announce, so I was